Welcome back to the Wake Up and Be Wealthy show. I am your host. That sounded so official. I am your host, Nellie Corvo. I'm so glad that you have chosen to tune in and listen to this episode, because the message that came through to me for you is that 80% of success is showing up. Because once we start showing up, we can fine tune, we can tweak and modify. Too often, we're talking about it and talking about it and talking about it and talking about it, and we're not doing, right? So I want to prove that this is true, right? I want to prove to you that this is true. Before I do that, I want to give a shout out to our podcast episode sponsor of the day, which is Kristen Rourke with Busy Mom Bod. She is all about helping busy moms live a very healthy lifestyle with easy tips and tricks and love and support. So please say hi to my girl Kristen. You'll be so glad that you did. She is literally pregnant with her baby girl and is staying super healthy and helping other moms do the same, and she just has so much knowledge. I was even doing the ab roller and she's like, I love you and I want to make sure you're okay. Can you double check your abs are back together? And I loved that. I was like, you actually just did more for me than my own doctor has. So that's how much she cares. She cares so much about moms and helping them feel amazing so they can go be amazing. And as moms, we're giving so much to everyone else that you joining and working with Kristen, which she has super affordable options, is a way to pour back into you. So contact Kristen and you will not be disappointed. All right, so let's talk about this 80%. Okay, so right now, if Nellie is telling you 80% of success is showing up, I want you to give yourself a grade out of that 80%. Pick a goal, right? Because there could be categories of your life or your business where you are showing up and you are fulfilling that 80%. But I want you to pick a goal specifically that you feel is the domino to all the other goals. Typically, this is money related or health related. So we'll just pick health, for example. Okay. So let's say health is your domino. Okay. Once you know that you'll lose let's say 20 pounds, you're oh my gosh, then I would have the confidence to go on Facebook Live. I would have the energy to build my business or go ask for a raise or whatever it may be. So that's your domino. It's the one goal that's going to help you knock down the other goals. Okay. So if we know 80% of the success is showing up, then you would give yourself a score. Okay. Out of that 80%, how much of you is consistently showing up for that goal? As if it's a person, right? And if you're ooh, I'm getting called out. Maybe you're talking about getting healthy, but then we're not working out. We're not drinking the water. We're not learning about our body and making a meal plan, sticking to a meal plan, right? Whatever it may be for you. And you're ooh, I would grade myself, in this pretend scenario, maybe you'd grade yourself 40%. Okay. So what I need from you is to fulfill that other 40%. Okay. Don't worry about after the 80% because we're not there yet. So often we're so worried about the next thing and we're not even focused on the thing in front of us right now. It's like human nature, okay? But we're not even there yet. And so we've got to fulfill the 80% in order to get to the next thing. So that's all that I want you obsessed about, specifically with one goal. Okay. Whether that, again, if that's health related, money related, you can then do this for every single goal that you're going towards. Okay. So let me just prove that 80% of success is showing up, okay? So let's say it is health related. You show up at the gym, right? You work out. You show up at the grocery store and you grab the groceries. You show up on your coaching call with like your nutritionist, right? You show up and you get your steps in. You show up and you check to see how many steps that you're at, right? Showing up is so underrated, but it literally is the catalyst to everything you desire. And anyone can show up that is willing to show up. And you don't have to be perfect. Let's say you say that you're going to show up at the gym on Monday at 10, but then you have a kid home sick. Okay, that's a real life scenario. Let's renegotiate. So you can still show up even when life is lifing. We just have to have a plan B, C, D, E, etc. Okay? Let's say you're really working on your marriage right now. How much are you showing up in your marriage, right? Let's say you're really working on your finances. How much are you showing up in your bank account, right? Checking your credit score, learning about budgeting, right? Learning about, ways to make more money, whatever it may be. You showing up is the answer to everything that you desire. And you have the power to show up. You have the power to show up. We get to be very, very intentional when we say we're going to do something. Because the more and more you keep promises to yourself, again, we're not perfect. No one is perfect. But if you say you're going to do something, if you say you're going to be somewhere, and you do it, and you keep doing it, and you keep doing it, you will be successful at anything that you desire. It just takes a little bit of time. And so this is the mind-blowing thing to me, because so often people aren't showing up on social media marketing their business, but then they're upset that they don't have sales. Well, if you were Target and you didn't open your doors and like corporate contacted you like, hey, why is your Target not making any sales? And you're like, oh, well, we haven't opened our doors. Corporate would fire you, right? They would be like, that's not okay. You need to open your doors. We're here to make money, right? And so this is a moment of taking extreme ownership. It's so much easier to point the finger at our kids, our spouse, the economy. If you have a boss, it's so much easier to have everything and everyone else be the villain, be the bad guy, right? Versus you being like, oh, okay, hi, it's me. I'm the problem, right? Like, and problem doesn't have to be bad. You're an entrepreneur. The more problems you solve, the more money you'll make. So make yourself your best problem to solve, right? In every category of your life. Every category of your life. Solve every single problem that you currently have. If your house is a disaster, solve that problem. If your health and fitness is non-existent, solve that problem. If your marriage is really wobbly, solve that problem, right? Solve every single problem in your life. You will build so much energy, so much trust, so much belief, so much momentum that skill is so transferable and so magnetic to everything that you desire that like opportunities are going to start finding you, ideas are going to start coming to you. And this is the most underrated, underutilized strategy that I wish more people would get. But like, I'm in a season of life, I don't think I'll ever get out of it, but I am just not available for convincing people to go after their goals and dreams. I'm just not. I'm here to be a beacon of light and hope and inspiration and proof that you can do this, but I'm not going to beg you to build your wealthiest life. I'm not going to chase you. I was definitely that girl in school that like when you did group projects, I like took on all of the responsibility. I took on, leading the team, right? Being the leader, but almost to like a default where I would take on way more than I should have. And I honestly can see that trend spill over into my adult life. And this was like an aha moment that I had just like a few days ago, where I'm like, I am holding so many other people's energy and responsibility and dreams and desires, and it's not fully mine, right? Like, I see the good in everyone and I want them to reach all of their goals, but it can't be at a detriment to my own energy. And that's again, that was a me problem. That was no one else's problem. No one asked me to do that. I just like took all of that on, and it like became so incredibly heavy that I've been putting some really strict energetic boundaries in place for myself of like, I will hold my energy and my responsibility, but I can't pour, literally, I cannot pour from an empty cup, and it's my problem to solve. And so that's really what I have been working on in so many different ways behind the scenes, of really holding myself to a higher energetic standard. And so this is why I know that this is so powerful, because I had to show up. I had to face myself and be super vulnerable that this was an energetic leak that I needed to work on. And so the more it comes up, I show up and I work on it, right? Like, every little situation is an opportunity to work on it. If I run away from it, then I can't work on it. So that's why I know 80% of success is showing up. I've seen it in my health and fitness. I've seen it in my home. I've seen it in my budget. I've seen it with my savings goal. I've seen it, like, it just blows my mind how much I've seen this, you know, specifically in this year. Like, wow, I've really shown up for myself. And therefore, actually, everyone else is really benefiting because I'm raising my standards. And so when someone else in your circle raises their standards, it's like a default. Everyone else starts to rise or walk away, right? And so that's the coolest part, is when we stop blaming everything and everyone else, and we just rise, and we just show up, and we keep showing up, and we keep showing up, for ourselves, for our goals, for the people we love, including ourselves. Everything clicks into place. And then that other 20% is fine tuning. It's strategy. It's really, you know, okay, what is working, what's not working, and then we just fill in the gap. But we can't do any of that stuff until you're consistently showing up. We need the data, whether it's marriage related, money related, health related, something else, right? Like big and small, like until we have you showing up consistently, right? Then we can't even do the fine tuning. We can't do the extra strategies. And so you have so much power. Use it to your advantage. You could literally be so unrecognizable in 30 days, like, and even less than 30 days. You can be so unrecognizable. And I'm not going to beg you. Okay. Energetic boundary. I'm not going to beg you, but I am going to massively encourage you. And here's the cool part. The time's going to pass no matter what. I'm going to continue to do this. I'm going to continue to rise. I'm going to continue to invite people to rise with me. But you've got to want this. You've got to want your wealthiest life more than anyone else wants it. This is the power. Like, when we invite people into your wealthy year, I have some really clear, crystal clear, energetic requirements from everyone in wealthy year. And I'm going to be very upfront about them, very clear about them, so everyone's on the same page. But it's gonna call you to rise. And I'm really excited about it because we need that. Like, we need someone in our life to invite us to rise, to level up, right? I was telling the team, like, match my freak, match my energy. Like, let's do this together. Like, anyone can channel any level of energy when they're willing, right? Like, when they're so willing, you can get to super high levels of energy when you show up and you keep showing up and you keep showing it up. And so I'm just incredibly excited for those that choose into not only your wealthy month, but then choose into your wealthy year, because it's just going to keep building and building and building. And I'm just excited to see who's ready for that. And not everyone will be, and that's okay. But for those that do, it's going to be so life-changing and so life-giving. And I'm just excited for the ride. I'm excited to experience the transformation with everyone and support them any way that I can. So 80%, pick a goal and ask yourself, how can you show up more? How can you show up more? And then that's what I want you to focus on. Don't worry about the other 20%. Worry about the 80%. And then the 20% will honestly take care of itself. It really will. It really, really will. Go one category at a time and master the showing up. And once you master it in one category, all the other categories actually become really, really easy, which is really cool and good for you. So make sure you're in your wealthy month, and then you'll be invited into your wealthy year. And match my freak, baby. Let's go.